Okay, let's begin. So, welcome to my stream. Let me switch over to my. There we go. So, what I have been streaming over the past, this is day 31 or the 31st day of streaming. I've been working on this roguelike tutorial in Rust. It's been an interesting journey so far. We've gotten most of the way through the second section now. We finished the first section a little while ago, and then we just did yesterday, we finished Hunger Clock. Magic Mapping is up next, and it looks like a pretty short, based on the size of this bar. I haven't peeked ahead in this window yet, but I will right now. Adding a magic map component. So it looks like we're just adding a new item, and then probably writing a little bit of code to reveal the map, right? So we have everything we need except for an indicator that an item is a scroll of magic mapping, right? Oh, I missed this paragraph. That's all right. So we're going to add a new magic mapper component to our components. And it doesn't have a thing in it, so we're just going to do this pub struct magic mapper. Gotta spell it correctly. And next up, we just create the scroll. So let's do that here in, oh, we got to register it, right? So in main and in save load system. Okay. GSECS register magic mapper, and in our save load system. Right down here, do that, and we're doing create star on that, so we're good. All right, so and now we're gonna put it in spawners, and this is just a magic mapping scroll that could go with the other scrolls, right? Yep. We have a magic missile scroll and a fireball scroll. Hey VM user, thanks for coming back. Let's see, we copy that, and we're creating a magic, so E, right? Magic mapping scroll. So position, renderable, and this one's going to be cyan 3, and black. Render order is still 2, and this will be scroll, oh, scroll's already there, of magic mapping. We got a name, right? So it's an item and it's not ranged and it doesn't inflict damage, but it is a magic mapper, like that. All right, and then we want to modify the room table to add a magic mapping scroll. 400. Oh, that's to, okay, yeah, we've got a weight of 400 because we really want to spawn the scroll, but I have a slightly different method of doing that. So what would be a good number for this? 10? 5? I'll just guess. I had to go offline there for a second. Okay, so magic mapping scroll. And then what I'm going to do is go to the goodies and add that to our list of goodies to spawn. Oh, it's in random item. Yep, here. 8. So 7 is going to be magic mapping scroll. Right, and that'll give us a chance of seeing it on a refresh, and we could just hit refresh all the time. And then we definitely have to add it to the spawn stuff. So let's look for rations, magic mapping scroll, magic mapping scroll. XY. Okay. If you were to cargo now, you can find the scrolls, but they won't do anything. All right, well, it's always good to check to see if it builds. And it doesn't, because I didn't add it to the list, the ginormous list here. Okay. And refresh. So nothing there, nothing there. Is that one? Scroll of magic mapping. Okay, so we can hit A and it doesn't do anything and it goes away. So it does one thing, it consumes itself. All right, so now we're up to mapping level. Let's see if we can figure this out. This looks pretty straightforward, right? All we're doing is modifying some code somewhere if it's a magic mapper. So where would this go? Right? It's obviously in the item use system. Okay, so maybe it's some healer, if it provides food, if it deals damage, if it adds confusion, right? So we can just add it anywhere here, right? Okay, let's just add it here then. If let some, oh, we're not even checking to see what it is. We just have underscore here. So we just have to say if it is some magic mapper get use item is some, right? So we just do it the same way we do the provides food. I'm not doing the use item thing anywhere. So for R in map revealed tiles iter mutable, we just set it to true. Oh, and then we do a game log entries push. The map is revealed to you. ToString. Okay. And then we have to get magic mapper in the data, right? So we're going to do a read storage magic mapper. And then at the end of this, we're going to add magic mapper, right? There's some framework changes also. We've done this often enough. I don't think it needs repeating here again, right? So that was probably what I just did there, adding it to the query. Of course, I didn't add it to the top. Magic mapper. There we go. Cannot borrow as mutable. Oh. Does that mean we have to change the game map somewhere? Where's the map? Here it is. So this should be write expect. Interesting. And then where is the map? Here it is. Okay, so now that's mutable. And it builds. And we refresh. We got a scroll of magic mapping. Should we use it? A. Oh, wow. Okay. That reveals, yeah, it's just like here, right? So we use a scroll of magic mapping and it pops up. So that's what we did. Now we see everything. Oops. And we can go around and see exactly, oh, I'm no longer well fed. Now I'm going to starve to death, right? I'm not sure I like this, seeing the insides here. Wouldn't it look nicer if the insides weren't shown? I don't know. If there's a way to do that easily. Probably not. Okay, so that's good. So we have this. We'll check in with Clippy. And see what we changed. We added a new magic mapping struct. We modified our data collection. We loop over all the entries and reveal them, and then we allow them to spawn, and here's where we spawn it. Okay. Create and use scrolls of magic mapping. Okay, put that up here on GitHub. There we go. All right. We're halfway through the chapter already, and we've only been streaming for 10 minutes. Making it pretty. So while the code presented there is effective, it isn't visually attractive. It's nice to include fluff in games and let the user be pleasantly surprised by the beauty of an ASCII terminal from time to time. We'll start by modifying inventory system RS again. All right, so what are we doing now? Instead of looping over all the tiles and revealing them, we've created a new magic map reveal run state. Okay. So instead of this, again, we don't use the used item. We have the game log entry is there. And the only other change is run state magic map reveal row 0. So we're revealing just row 0. I don't think we have run state in here, do we? We do not. Okay. So that needs to be added. Run state. And run state is a resource. So we have to say write expect take a run state. And then add that to here. Run mutable run state, right? Of course, we haven't created that state yet. Notice that instead of modifying the map, we're just changing the game state to mapping mode. We don't actually support doing it yet, so let's go to state mapper and modify the player turn to handle it. Source lib game state is where I put the player turn. So I put the state machine here in the game state instead of having everything in main. All right, so we did it slightly differently. We have the maintain running every turn and run systems. So this is already done. So it looks like we just need to look at the next run state and set the new run state to the magic map reveal. Okay. Self ECS fetch run state magic map reveal so anything, and that causes us to set the new run state to be run state magic map reveal row 0, right? That's all it is. And otherwise, the new run state is what would have been monster turn, like that. And while we're here, let's add the state to the run state. Yeah, okay. So here's the run state. We're going to add magic map reveal with an I32. Okay. And then we'll add some logic to the tick loop for the new state. All right. We were just in the tick loop. That's where player turn was, in the tick loop. Okay, so let's just put this at the bottom. Run state, magic map reveal row. This, I can see what it's going to do. It looks pretty cool. It does one row at a time. And since we're doing, let's see, we're doing 60 ticks per second, and the screen is 43 rows high. So it takes under a second, but it's fast enough that it looks kind of neat. All right, let's grab a mutable reference to the map, self ECS fetch the map for x in 0 dot dot map with map xy index, x as I32 in row, And then map revealed tiles index is true. So we're going to reveal just this row that was in the magic map reveal. And then if map height -1, then the new run state is run state monster turn. Right, that makes sense because it would have been the monster turn if we weren't doing a reveal. So we'll do the reveal and then set it to monster turn. Run state magic map reveal row gets row +1. Okay. I don't know if map width and map height are available here, but we'll find out when we try to build it, right? Map should be, yeah. Okay, so we loop over every column in the row, reveal it, and then move to the next row on the next tick. That makes sense. Let's see what blows up. Yeah, so we don't have map height. Oh, expected use size found I32. Yes, I can convert it to use size and panic if the converted value doesn't fit. Okay, sure. And that's on line 219. Just grab that, put that in there. And it still doesn't like it. Method not, oh, why'd you tell me to do that then? Thanks, Rust. Normally Rust's error message are pretty good. But what we can do is just use as, right? Oh. Oh yeah, row as use size. Map height -1. Oh wait, are they both? Yeah, are they both use sizes? I mean, both I32s? Let me just try this and see what happens. That might be the simplest solution. Oh, this should probably get a star in front of it? No? New run state is never used. Remove this mute. Oh yeah, we don't need to make the map mutable anymore. But what's going on with this? On line 105. Why is it saying new run state is never used? Oh, because we're setting the new run state here. So yeah, we delete that line. Duh. All right. So that's that bug or compilation error. Let's look at this, and I think we just need to revert the map back to non-mutable. Right? So we can change it to read expect. And then change the map mutability down here. Right? Because we're no longer mutating the map in the inventory system. We're waiting till we get into the tick. All right, so let's see what that looks like. Did we get one? We got one. Okay. Wow. Oh, and then it panics. Nice. Index out of bounds. So len is 3440, but the index is 3440. Did I go one too far? Oh, I forgot to put the -1 on line 219 when I changed it. Right? Yeah, -1. Okay, refresh. Grab that. Reveal. Sweet. Okay, that looks really cool. That looks really neat. Yeah, so let's check that in. Check in with Clippy first. And let's just do a git diff to see what's going on. So that's the magic map reveal. Here's the code to set the state once we cast the spell or read the scroll. This does the bit that reveals the map one row at a time. We're going to switch this back from write to read. We do mutate the run state because we're doing that here. to insert that into the run state, and then we're done. Okay. Add source. Git commit -m, a fancy way of revealing the map. And let's put that up. Good. Okay. So that's there. What's the reason to run this in the browser instead of the terminal? Just ease of use. I mean, I'd have to scroll back over here and then do a cargo run. And then the window ends up being really tiny. Here, I'll show you. Also, it would be nice to just be able to make a GitHub workflow at some point to upload it to a GitHub page, and then it'll be like it won't have like a backing store for persistence or anything, but it would, people would be able to just go to that page and run it. See how tiny this is, and then if I try to resize it, it looks all wonky. Whereas if you resize it in a browser, this is how big it normally looks, and I can increment it, and everything stays proportionally. Does GitHub allow that? Yeah, I mean, it's just all this is. So what the build does is it creates two files, right? I wrote this index, and then it's got it generates the JavaScript file and the WASM file. And so it's just 3 files that it's a static site kind of hosting. You could use local storage as well. Yeah, I was looking into that. I haven't learned how that works yet, though. And that would be an interesting thing to look at, is figuring out how to get local storage to work, and then they could just use it on the browser. But getting through WASM to local storage, I need a tutorial on how to do that. All right, remember to lower the spawn priority. We did keep it low initially, right? But not 2. We made it 5. All right, let's switch it to 2. Spawn priority to 2. All right, so that chapter went really fast. It's basically just a string storage. Yeah, so then I could just like export it as JSON or something. In fact, this tutorial has a way of exporting the game state. You can see here, save game JSON. So it could just be a giant, although it gets pretty big. It's over 100K. So I don't know what local storage limits are. One of the things I wanted to do, Togglebit has a toggle byte, right? He's got a neovim thing, and I keep meaning to set up. Do I have neovim? I do. So it might be interesting to try to go through his setup and figure out how to get this to work. Because he's got a few neat shortcuts for doing a cargo check in line and then being able to jump around to the errors, and I want to see if that would be a good workflow for me. What do we do? We got set up to SH. It's mostly Vim compatible. Okay, that's good to know. I'm not sure my Vim can handle Lua though. And it looks like this has no Lua. Let's see, what do I have for my Vim RC right now? Just pretty basic. Yeah. So let's copy that somewhere safe. What day is today? 2021, 11/16? Because it looks like we're overwriting. And do I have a Vim? Nope. Okay. So this script looks like it's just doing some basic stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't like messing around too much, because then when I go from one environment to another, I got to keep them in sync. Especially, my work environment is also Vim, and so yeah. So if I pull this in, this might be a good starting point for me to make something more workflowy that works for me. But it looks like we do run the setup script with a dash init, and it clones everything locally, right? I see this make dir pacdev start, and then we git clone in pacdev start, right? And it's doing these guys. And it's, yeah. Also symlink everything to .vim and .vimrc. Okay, so we can try this, right? What's the worst that could happen? Let's clone this guy. One of these days I'm going to get my G key on my laptop fixed. All right, so we got this nvim from ToggleBit. And if I just run setup, let me just take one more look at that setup.sh to see. It doesn't need anything special, right? And it's just gonna git clone a bunch of packages and then link everything here. And then my whole life will be ruined, right? Although there's no neovim in it. All right, let's see what happens. Setup.sh init. Okay. And if I go back to my roguelike, and I use neovim, what blows up? Doesn't look like it's working, right? Why not? So I think you need something else to link in, right? There's got to be something like .config, which just has iterm2. I think neovim has that. Check health, something like that. No health check found for health plugin. Check dash health, or is it health check? Nope. Maybe you need to clone it into config. Oh, okay. All right, I can do that. That makes more sense. So let's go to config. Let's do the clone again, and then I have to delete the things it did, right? So remove vimrc, and then there's a .vim, and it's gonna have symlinks in it. So I'll just rm star. Yep. Okay, so that's cleaned up. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks, ModProg. Appreciate it. So let's do the setup again. I should submit a PR to say that's where you got to run the setup. I don't think that's mentioned. Yeah, no, it's minimal docs. That's fine. We're smart, right? All right, so let's go to documents, dev.rt. All right, I think it's there. So if I hit, I got to look. Oops. Overly long loop turn. 186 milliseconds. That just probably means there's a lot going on. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to have to mess around with this a little bit because I hit Control F to go forward half a page, and that didn't work. So we're going to have to play around with this a little bit. It's going to be in, where's Rust? Name Rust. Ooh. Okay. This guy probably. Oh, yeah. So Vim by itself, that's interesting. Vim blows up. I still don't have control. I have Control E though. No, it's not that one. There's got to be some. It wasn't in after. What was it in? This guy? Nope. Let's look for RG. Oh, it's in NOLA. Okay. RG. So we're going to change that, or we're going to just comment that out. And what else is in here? I don't know what FZF is. Those are all fine. Terminal mapping is fine. All right. So somewhere also there's a weighted run cargo check, right? Check. Cargo run. Okay. Okay, control B is compile. Leader X is run. Leader F is format. What's leader? Leader is backslash. Okay. So if I say backslash F when I'm in a Rust file, it should format it for me, right? But there's no check. I thought we had a cargo check somewhere. I'm going to comment this guy out too because I use semicolon. Leader. Oh no, let's do control D maybe. Do cargo check. All right, let's see if that works. Control D. All right, that worked. Init.vim. There's an init.lua. Okay. There's a nolua.vim. Yep. Okay, so this is like, yeah, so this is what we were editing somehow. Oh, that's what got linked. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we got that. What else can we do? Let's try using it on a tutorial here. Rex paint menu. Loading Rex assets. I'm not sure I want to do that. Let's go with simple traps. And let's see if we can add a basic trap while we're in ToggleBit's system. All right. So we're going to add a bear trap. Okay. Yeah, we're getting this Rust Analyzer thing. Interesting. All right. So up here, we'll add a bear trap. We'll just copy the confusion scroll and change it. Bear trap. All right, create entity with position. Renderable is going to be caret, and then this is going to be red. Render order is 2. It's got a name of bear trap. It is not an item. It is not consumable. It's not range or confusion. That's it. So that's pretty simple. We'll add it to the room table. Trap. With spawn rate of 2. And then we have to find that. Bear trap. So the star key still works. Bear trap. That's why. If you cargo run your project now, occasionally you run into a red caret. Okay. Oh, I didn't do a cargo check. I should get used to that. Right? Let's try it now. But it didn't put me on the thing. There's probably some other setting I need to do, right? Or some other. You could probably throw out everything not Rust related. Yeah. If I ever decide to program in Perl or Python or whatever, I did Python a while ago. But I'm. Oh, that's interesting. I had Control B for going back, and it ran cargo check. Let me quit this, and I'll hit Control B. Now it's saying no errors or warnings. Let's introduce an error. I'll put an X there. I'll hit Control B. Oh, I gotta save it, and then hit Control B. There. Okay, so now it says there's 5 errors, and put the cursor, well, the cursor was here. I wonder if I move down here, and I'll hit Control B again. Will it move the cursor to where it did. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's what I was looking for, but I don't want it to be Control B. I think it's cargo, it might be cargo build. Yeah, so Control B for build. Let's go back here and see if we can find Control B. That's all over the place. Rust. Oh yeah, :compile. Okay. Yeah, okay, so let's just change that to D and get rid of the one I added. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to say WACR. Can I do that? Let's try it without that first and then see how that goes. All right, so we're creating bear traps. It should build now. Oh, I didn't. Oh, why didn't I get an error? Right, if I hit Control. Oh, okay. Something was. There we go. So now. Or maybe I was just looking at the first one. Yeah, that's it. I was just looking at the first one and I didn't keep looking. All right, so if that should create bear traps, what we can do is, I was going to say we can do a magic mapping thing and then see them, but they are not part of the map. They're part of their entities. Let's do the magic mapping anyway so we can run through more quickly. There's a bunch of food. Anything in here? Anything in here? Besides goblins. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, I broke something. Oh no, it was just hanging. Okay. That's my computer. And I died. How am I going to check bear traps now? Oh, I know. I can just pick up a shield. If I hit refresh and pick up a shield. One of these guys is a shield. Yep. Then I'm invulnerable. Sorry. Get IA. Get IA. There we go. So now I am wielding the shield. If I hit R, yeah. There's no food there. And I gotta also add a run command. That's the entrance. Any traps? I guess the traps aren't spawned quickly enough. Yeah, dev hacks. Well, I did the, I was just following the tutorial, and it turns out the way they balanced it, the game, was that the shield provides 2 protection and the monsters have 2 attack points. I can still die from hunger though, so. Yeah, I'm not seeing any traps. So we gotta, let's increase the spawn rate like they did for the other example. Display all entities. Yeah. I wonder what that would do, or what that would take. There should be, yeah, that should be like one of the scrolls that we create is like telekinesis or scroll of item location, right? Maybe we'll get to that. I keep doing this until one of them spawns in the room we're in. It should, right? I increased it to 200. You'd think it would. Or maybe I didn't, maybe there's something I missed. I'm doing the bear trap here. I added it to here. The only thing is that, you know, if it's not spelled the same way. It is. I wonder what's... Oh, there's one. Wow. 200 takes a while. Okay, but now we have bear traps. And if I point at it, it should say bear trap. It does. I got to fix the contrast on that. Okay. But you don't always spot the trap. It's pretty easy to, if you can always know where a trap is. Okay, so we're going to add a new hidden component type. Components, right? Oops. You got to remember to hit neovim. Okay. And this is going to be hidden, right? And now we're going to add hidden to the bear trap. Does anybody know if toggle bit's coming back? Vim and Vim. Okay, yeah. That's smart. I'll do that right now. And then maybe I'll remember to update my RC file. So I do want to get it into my muscle memory though. So we're going to, in spawner, we're going to change the bear trap here to add hidden. Just got to keep an eye on whether or not toggle bit's coming back, because then we can go, I can finish up and go raid him. All right, so with hidden, what are we doing? We want to modify the object renderer to not show things that are hidden. Okay, so we add an exclamation point in front of hidden to do that. If you only want the cargo check and throw out everything else, it should be Vim compatible. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me do that off stream. Maybe clean that up off stream. Because that'll be nice to not have all of this mess if I mess something up. Let's see, source, where are we? We're in, where do we render everything? I've forgotten. Game state? No. Sort by. There it is. Yeah, so it's right here. So positions, renderables, and not hidden. Need a comma there. And Vim was to have a go-to definition with Rust Analyzer. I'm not sure what that means. All right. We do need to grab hidden. We're going to do read storage of hidden. That's not in there. Did I miss that? And then we sort by. So it's the same thing. Okay. Notice we've added a not symbol to the join. So I think this is all we're doing here, right? I mean, everything else is the same. Oh no, we check. We have is visible. Oh yeah. If map is visible. And I changed it to accept a XY. I don't remember when I did that refactor, but I did, just for my own sanity. Okay. I think that's it, right? If you cargo run the project now, the bear traps are no longer visible, so we won't know if, if we're actually rendering them. However, they show up in tooltips. We'll exclude them from tooltips also. So in GUI, in draw UI, draw tooltips, which is right here. Yeah, so we'll just grab the hidden, let hidden ECS read, storage, hidden, right? And then we're going to add for name, position, unused, in positions hidden, not hidden, then we'll draw it. Okay, everything else is the same. Yeah, so, okay. So let's do a check. Of course. Oh, we have to add hidden. Oh, I like this because now I'm still in the editor. I have to remember to write it. And this also needs hidden. And then I think it was leader. Oh yeah, there we go. Mismatched type. Did we change something there too? What did I miss? We're in this, right? So we have data is this. Oh, yeah, I did miss this guy. All right. And hidden needs to go here. Oh, I do have it there. Not found in the scope. It's right here. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. Okay. I like that. I like that workflow. Except for the saving part. I got to keep remembering to save. Oh, I missed a follow by used sure. Thank you for the follow. That was a half hour ago. I apologize. All right. So now if we refresh, it panics. Yeah, I can try to add the WA to the command. I was starting to do that, and then I felt unsure of myself. Right. So we can do :WA_CR compile. All right, we can try that. But we have a problem here, and I don't know. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you where it dies in the WASM. So we'll. Oh, I didn't realize this was still running. Let's run it here with the backtrace and figure out what's dying. Oh, I bet you I know. It's the fact that I didn't add hidden as a resource. This takes a very long time to compile because it's compiling in the save load system, which is not part of, it's conditionally compiled out for, yeah, so I'm missing, I didn't add hidden. It's conditionally compiled out for the browser version. So the browser version builds a lot faster. So we got to add source main. Oh. Source main and source lib save load. And we got to add the hiddens to those guys. Right. And we'll put hidden here and hidden here. Oh, let's try it. Control D. Did it save it? Oh, I don't know if it saved it. Oh, it did. Okay, good. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to change, right? Because if I go here, I normally see a status bar at the bottom, and ToggleBit has his turned off. So I think that one's called last status, right? Oh, that's probably in Nolua. Yeah, that's it. He was telling me that on a stream yesterday. So, okay. Thank you, ToggleBit. Okay, so now if I say nvim source main, I should see, yeah, okay, good. I prefer that, even though it takes up extra room. All right, so we refresh over here, right? Oh, did I forget to build? No, I built it over here. Okay, not going to think about it. All right, so that works. And now we can't see traps. And we can't detect them with the mouse. Oh, that's just a player, yeah. So now it's as though they're not even there, but we need to be able to get, okay, we got to get damaged by them. So entry triggers. So now we have another component to add. And we're going to add this as an entry trigger. And what are we going to not forget to do is add it to main. Right? Entry trigger. And we're going to add it to the save load system. And the other thing he's got is being able to find files quickly. There's some command to do that, or some hotkey to do that, so I don't have to go :E all the time. All right. So that's that, and now we'll add in spawner. We're going to add the entry trigger to the hidden bear trap with entry trigger. Oh, that's FCF. Okay. Thank you. And there was there was a command for that, right? For FCF. It was in NOLA. Yeah, Control P. All right. Let's try that for the next time I need to change a file, which is going to be very, very quickly, because now we suddenly need to add another component here. Entity moved, sorry. So we have the entry trigger. We add the entry trigger here. We also need to have traps fire their trigger when an entity enters them. So we'll add another component, entity moved, to indicate. All right. So I'm going to hit Control P. Not an editor command FCF. So there must be some other thing I need to set up. And I'll try that off stream also, because I don't want to lose my momentum here. Struct entity moved. Probably. Okay. I'm sure I'll be able to dig into it once I'm not panicking on getting this code done. So what are we doing with entity move? We scour our code base to add entity move component every time an entity moves. Wow. Okay. In player RS, we handle player movement in the try move player, and at the top we'll gain write access to the relevant components store. And then when we've determined that a player did in fact move, we'll insert the entity moved component. Okay. This seems a very complex way of doing it, but maybe it's right. So here's try move player. We'll grab a write storage for entity moved. Right? And then when the entity moves, if we're not blocked, so this moves the player here, right? So maybe down here is where we say entity moved, insert, entity. Yep, so that's the entity right there, and then entity moved. Morning, Bear. How are you? And then expect unable to insert marker. All right. So then we have to implement a trigger system. Oh boy. All right, let's implement a trigger system. So yeah, this is that type of complexity thing. Okay. Oh, what's this? Did I? Oh, I'm still in the NVim thing. I was just in my neovim. Okay, so there we go. That's better. I was lost in my directory structure. So we have entity moved, position, entity trigger, hidden map and name, and we get the game log. All right, so spell it with 2 G's. And then we're going to extract this out into a separate type, trigger data, so that the Clippy doesn't complain and we don't have to add all these allows. So we have a read expect for the map, a write storage for all the positions, a read storage. Oh, no, that's entity moved. My eyes moved. Position, a read storage for entity trigger, a write storage for hidden, a read storage for name. We have the entities, which are just on their own, and then a write expect for the game log. Right, so that's that. And then we implement tick A, system tick A for triggers system, and we just say type system data is equal to trigger data tick A. Yeah, I do have, I think I do have it. Yeah, it's taking a while to start, or I'm streaming and compiling and OBSing and everything from this computer, so it's probably just low on CPU, is my guess. I tried doing a setup where I streamed from a different computer doing image capture, and it didn't look good. It looked kind of mushy, so maybe I just need a better streaming capture setup. Entities, and what else? The log. Oh, that's another thing I'm not a fan of, is this left-right scrolling. I'll have to look at that, see how to turn that off. So we're going to iterate the entities that moved and their final position. Okay. Do we need, if we're not using it, do we need to make it mutable? Maybe it has to be mutable if it's mutable up here. That's interesting. In entities, entity moved and position. This ition.join, right? Let idx map. So we grab the location of the position of the entity that moved, and then say for entity ID in map tile content idx iter, right? Because a map tile could have more than one thing on it. If entity is not equal to the entity ID, now what's entity ID? That's the thing we're looping over. Okay, so we're looking just for the entities that we care about, the one entity we care about. So if we're grabbing the trigger, it's a maybe trigger. Somebody was writing Haskell recently, huh? If it's a sum, right? So we can just short circuit all of that. Say if entity trigger get entity ID is sum, right? Then we can just say let name equal names get entity ID. Oh, we can say if let names get entity ID, right? Oh, sum. Like this, right? Then we can just say log entries push format. I'm learning a lot. Yeah, I'm learning a lot about Rust's syntax just by cleaning up what I see as I go along. Name, and then we wanted to say hidden.remove entity ID. So we're removing, oh, and then I missed an extra thing here. After the for, right, we say entity moved clear. Okay. And did I get this in the right spot? This is inside entity ID, and it's only if it is, no, yeah, only if it is some. So I got this in the wrong spot, right? No, here, right? I think so. Yeah, so only if it's triggered do we remove it. All right, so let's, I'm going to try Control D now. It should write and check, right? It did, and it compiled. I am in shock. All right, so we iterate all entities that have a position and a moved. We get the map index, we iterate the tile index for that map location. If there's a trap, we get its name and notify the player, and then we remove the hidden component, so now it'll show up. We also have to go into main RS and insert code to run the system. Yeah. Did I add it to... yeah, the save load system. Okay, I wanted to make sure. I've already forgotten. And we want to change the monster AI. Oh, goes after monster AI since the monsters can move. So if I go to state here and I look at all this, we want to put it after the monster AI system. Triggers, trigger, system, trigger, system, and then triggers run now. Self ECS. Okay, so I have to pull this in somehow. And I'm doing a crate star. So let's see, is it in lib? No, it's in mod. Yeah. All right, so this is where we put all our systems. So trigger and trigger. So I don't think we need that part of it anymore. Check, and it failed. Game log, 2 colons for game log. No more items. Check. Okay. I forgot a comma there. Unresolved import entity trigger. But that's in the components, right? Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, it didn't save. Look. Okay. No. No entity trigger in the root. Oh, I called it entry trigger. Hopefully I got it right in main. No, I called it entry trigger there too. And that means save load system. Yep. Oh no, it's supposed to be, oh, I'm doing it backwards. It's supposed to be entry trigger. Right? ENTRY trigger. It's this thing up here that should be entry trigger. Oops, TRY. All right. Trigger with 2 G's. And need to add it here. Entry trigger. Did I get that wrong? But I was just reading too fast. We're in the trigger system. I know. Well, not this one, but the other one. At some point you just give up and just put a star, right? Yeah, this is supposed to be entry trigger. Okay, what else? Entity moved, what's it complaining about here? All right, I'm just gonna write and see. All right, no errors. Let's build it. And now, I don't know how we're gonna, oh, it crashes. Oh, this is interesting. Now it's telling me here. It wasn't telling me the other time. Maybe it depends on where it, so this is entity moved, right? And then save load system, entity moved. And there, and this one does a star, so we're good. Okay, refresh. And now I should be able to get trapped by traps, but of course, how are you supposed to find a trap if they're all hidden? I don't know how you test this. Because we want to test we don't want to reveal all the locations because, oh, you know what I could do is console log every time a trap was made and say that it's XY location, and then we can go to that location. Maybe that'd be the simplest way to do it, right? So every time we create an entity that is a bear trap, we'll say rltk console log format trap at xy. I think I can do that. Of course, we're going to have to kind of guess where the XY is. All right, so let's refresh. Oh, good. It did work. It's interesting. We create the map before we even begin the game. I guess it doesn't really matter. So there's a trap at 28, 27. Is that in this room here? Or in this room here? Somewhere around here. I should console log all my locations too. So somewhere around here is a trap. And of course, if there is a trap and there's a bug in the trap creation, thank you, zombie killer. Oh, we just hit it. The bear trap triggered. We didn't take any damage, but we triggered the bear trap. Okay. So that worked. Herman, thank you for the follow. I added a pop-up for that, but I haven't been paying attention to see if that worked. So did anybody see a follow show up in the stream elements thing? Let me just change this window over here so I can see if it shows up. If it doesn't, oh well, I'm not too fussed. Okay, so we're able to trigger the trap and reveal the trap when it triggers. Oh, thank you, Sam. It's a bit too low and gets cut off. Ah, okay. Thanks, I'll have to play around with that. Actually, why don't I just, I'm in here now. I can move it up a little bit and see what happens. All right, it's moved up. Let's see if that works. All right, so we can now trigger the trap, but it doesn't do any damage to us. And I think that's what's going to happen next. Traps that hurt. Yeah. So this gets us a long way. Traps can be sprinkled around the level and trigger when you enter their target tile. It would help if the trap did something. All right, so it inflicts damage. So we already have an inflicts damage component type. So we don't have to add anything there. That's 6. Wow. Okay, that's painful. And then we'll extend the trigger system to apply the damage. Okay. So somewhere in here, right? So before we remove it, maybe let damage equals inflicts damage get. That's what happens when I accidentally tap. I have a MacBook that has the touch bar, and it's very easy for me to accidentally trigger the touch bar, and then that window pops up. And I think it's supposed to be a help window or something. So we're going to do if let some damage, and now we have to add inflicts damage here, right? And we're going to modify it. Suffer damage. So we probably have to add an inflicts damage read. Right? Unless this mute inflicts damage. Maybe it needs to be a write. Yeah, I'm a Mac user. I work on Linux, not Linux, Unix, a variant of Unix for a living. And this is a very easy thing to use because it's very Linuxy or Unixy. So we are grabbing inflicts damage, but this says inflict damage and this says inflict damage. So I'm not sure. This is probably a write storage then, and maybe this is a typo. Maybe this should be inflicts damage. Right? So we do that before entities. We'll do mute inflicts damage like that. And then here we'll just say particle builder request. Oh, we got to pull in the particle builder too, huh? OSY, RLTK, RGB, named RLTK orange, and then black, RLTK RGB named, RLTK black, and it's this funky symbol that I have to copy and paste because I don't know how to type it. 200.0. All right, so we're going to have to pull in the particle builder as well, and then suffer damage, new damage. I think it's supposed to be that. We'll take a look at another, if this doesn't compile, we'll take a look at another example. Damage. Okay, so that's that. And we'll need a write storage. Take a particle builder, I think. Let's find out. It's in melee combat system, right? Yeah, write expect particle builder. Oh, I did. Oh, write expect. Glad I looked. That would have been a difficult bug to track down. All right, and then we need to add it to here. Like that. Okay. Let's write that and see if it checks. It does not. I forgot a comma. What else? Inflicts damage not found in the scope. Particle builder inflicts damage. I don't like that. What else? Yeah, particle builder, and then suffer damage. Okay. Yeah, okay. Particle builder request expected 6 arguments, but 5 arguments, so I missed one. We have an XY, orange, black, 2 CP437. Oh, typo. Only problem with macOS and grandparents use it, and I don't have an experience with it when they need help. Yeah, I know that feeling. Being IT for your family. You know computers, right? Therefore, you know everything about computers. So what are we doing wrong here? It didn't like the request I made. Oh, maybe I just need to rebuild. Okay, and I'm missing a closing brace somewhere along the way. So this is for this guy, right? This is for this if. This is for this if. That's for that for. That's for that. Huh. So it thinks it's really. Let me build it here and see, because I'm not seeing what's missing on the braces. Oh, that's what they're missing. That's what's missing. Okay. Okay, line 40. I have two of those guys. Okay. Yeah, expect struct. Yeah, so I have to look at what I'm doing with the melee combat system. Because there's inflicts damage and inflict damage. Oh, I see. So you do need to grab the right storage for suffer damage, and that's inflict damage. Right? That's confusing. So that mute inflicts damage for inflicts damage, and then there's no inflict there. So we're grabbing both here, and then mute inflict damage or suffer damage. That's less than ideal variable naming. 2 warnings. So let's see what the warnings are. Oh, we don't need mute. And what's the other warning? That's the only warning. Okay. So 26 doesn't need mute on that, which means we can change this to read storage. Right? Yeah, okay, now there's no warnings. Okay, so let's build that. Herman, thank you for the follow 10 minutes ago. Apologies for the delay. Okay, let's. Right. Oh, I should have cleared the console. Right. So we have it. Oh. Let's try again. Refresh. Click in here. So we have a trap at 2624. Maybe we can pull up a scroll of magic mapping somewhere before we die. Oh, I just got hit by a trigger. Oh, look at that. It worked. Ha! That's a bear trap, and now it's showing up in tooltips. That's cool. And we took 6 points of damage. Wow. Okay. That's pretty nasty. If I had a shield, it's interesting. If I had a shield, it would have mitigated that by 2 or 3 points. I forget what the shield is. Bear traps only snap once. Oh, okay. Single activation. Let's take a look. Yeah, the bear trap triggers. So I can kill myself this way, right? By triggering it multiple times. If a monster walks into a trap, it damages them too. It even plays the particle effect for attacking. Yes, it did. That was kind of neat to see. Okay, so let's check this in. As long as Clippy's happy with it. Clippy is not happy. This if statement can be collapsed. Yes. Please collapse my if statements. It's saying we can do this and is some. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And if let some damage inflicts damage again. Okay, well, let's take a look. Line 45. We can combine these two ifs together and just with an and. And then that goes like that. And then we can just move everything in one, right? And get rid of the extra brace. Except this needs to still be inside the function. Okay. Cargo check. Everybody's happy. Make sure Clippy is still happy with that. Good. So we have actually a brand new file now. Diff staged. So entity moved, entity trigger, and hidden. And we now have a bear trap. We have a whole system for triggering traps. And we added the particle effect for that. All right. Bear traps with infinite damage. Okay, let's push that up. There we go. And then we should just be able to do this part here. I was expecting Togglebit to come back. We could switch over to him, but I haven't seen him. So let's do this. Let's do single activation. He said maybe? Okay. Then in that case, why don't we just call this a day, and I can stream the snap once thing tomorrow morning? Yeah, I think that would be best because my voice is starting to go. I don't normally stream this long. All right, so yeah, let's call it a day. We'll work on snapping once tomorrow. Is there somebody that is up that I know that we can switch over to? MST3K and Milby. Neither one of those are Rust programmers. Okay. Well, I will leave it there then. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.